Thank you very much. My name is Jerry Yellin, and I'm just one of 16 million people who served our country in World War II. I was 17 on the day Pearl Harbor was attacked, and 2 months later, on February 15th, 1942, I enlisted in the Army Air Corps to fly fighter planes against the Japanese. I graduated from flying school, Luke Field, in August of 1943, and I was sent overseas with 10 hours in a P-40 to become a fighter pilot. I could fly, but I certainly wasn't a fighter pilot. I stayed in the 78th Fighter Squadron when we transferred to P-47s, then P-51s, and on March 7th, 1945, 3 weeks into my 21st year, I landed on a small island called Iwo Jima, 8 square miles of land, 650 miles from Japan, where 90,000 soldiers were fighting and 28,000 died. I flew 19 missions over Japan after we strafed for the Marines. I flew with 16 guys who didn't come back. And when the war ended on August 14th, 1945, I came home and I didn't have a purpose for life. I had an addictive behavior for 30 years until Helene, my wife now of 62 years, saw Merv Griffin saw Maharishi Mahesh Yogi on Merv Griffin and decided that she wanted to learn TM. And a few months later, I learned TM and my life changed. In 1983, I was invited to go to Japan. And Helene and I went to Japan. I went reluctantly. Japan was not a place I wanted to visit, and the Japanese were not people that I wanted to know. While we were there, she said to me, Robert, our youngest of 4 sons, would love Japan. And in 1984, he went to Japan. And that was 27 years ago. He hasn't come back yet. 1987, he had a meeting with a father, a samurai, with his children because he wanted to marry their daughter. And this man asked Robert what about his father. And he said, how old is your father? And Robert said, 63. Was he in the war? He said, yes. He says, what did he do? He was a pilot. What did he fly? P-51s. Where? Over Japan. The meeting broke up, and that man went back to his wife and told her to make a wedding. And she said, why? He probably hates you as much as you hate him. And he said, any man who could fly a P-51 against the Japanese and live must be a brave man, and I want the blood of that man to flow through the veins of our grandchildren. Because of my sons, because of my wife, I became a changed man. I learned transcendental meditation, and I gave up addictive behavior, and I recognized last year the need for the veterans, the 1% of this country who represented us in war, 3 million soldiers, 1.25 million who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan cumulatively for the last 216 months, 18 years. We need to help them, and Operation Warrior Wellness is reaching out through people who are in the help industry for the good of the soldiers. TM can help them and does help them. We're working with the IAVA, the Iraqi Afghanistan veterans. We're working with Tara Weiss, who has formed a group of people called the National Women's Veterans Association of America. We're working with Wounded Warriors. And we, 99% of America, must find a way to support the 1% who have been fighting for these last 216 months. I appeal to all of you to think about what you can do to help us, help them, help themselves. Thank you very much.